Here's how you can turn every high ticket sales into 2 more sales without spending a cent on ads. So let's get building. So what you will need for this is make.com. So sign up on make.com for free and click on this create scenario. Your first module is going to be your module that searches your database. So what it does is it goes in, search your database, find customers that are, purchases that were made in 3 days, 4 days ago, depending on what you would prefer, and then it sends a message to them asking them for a review in return for a partnership gift. So that way it's a win-win. They do a review to promote your product, and you give them a gift for doing that review. So we're going to go in and get a Google Sheet here because that's where my own database is. In my previous example, I had these. So this is what I would just want to work with, right? In your own case, you can do whatever database. If you have a Shopify store, just directly connect this to your Shopify and it will be very easy to do. But if you don't, and you have like a database where you hold all of your orders, your purchases and all of that, that's what you might want to connect here. So we're going to, set all the rows. That's what I'm basically just doing. I think that's the right connection. Yeah, I'm on the right connection. So my spreadsheet here, I'm going to call it, how come I didn't see this inventory and others when I was looking for so my sheet name is this orders here. Okay, so what I'm trying to look for is the status here is equal to, I need to even find where this is at. Okay. Yeah, so this is my own others page, and the status here. Yeah, so I'm going to do completed. What I'm going to do here is completed, right? But in your own case, it could be like delivered or something, depending on what you use. So yeah, I think I will just use completed in this case for this example. So that means that the order has been completed. So that means you've closed out on the order. And in this case, I just want to return when. So I will save this. And then I add another module that is going to, determine how long it has been since the order was completed, because what I'm trying to work with is 3 days. So I want to capture them immediately while they're still hot. I want to use that word. So I only want to capture them while they're still hot. I don't want to send, a review request or a referral request to a customer that purchased something 6 months ago, but they'll probably finish using it or something. So I want to keep it while they're still hot. So that's why I need to only send it to them. So I'm going to call a variable here. I'm going to go to tools and I'm going to set a variable. So my variable name is 3 days. Whatever works for you is fine. So and this is what I will be using. So my details here is going to be this timestamp. So I'm going to be adding the timestamp here. So it's going to pass the timestamp and pass it by minutes and pass it by hours, right? So that way it can tell me how many days it has been. You can tell me. So I'm going to also add, in this case, let me copy this. Just like I said, I want you to tell me, also divide it by 7, thereby telling me how many days it has been. And I'm going to go ahead and save this, and I will save this. So let me see if that is even going to run without giving me any issues because of the timestamp. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay, you know what? Let me just run everything at once and see what I'm going to get. So in this case, this happens in 2025, so I can understand why it's giving me 431. So we're looking at since 2025, right? Yeah. But it shouldn't be up to 421. So it shouldn't be. Okay, let's see. Oh, forgot that I'm looking at something I can't edit. So I think I'm going to switch out the um, and come out and pick this one instead because I feel like I will be able to work with make edits to this one so that it can fit into what I want a little bit. Okay, so I think I've seen something I can use. So I can use this as the one, right? I can use this WhatsApp others, although, yeah, and I can also include email here, just so it can work for what I want. But yours, of course, is going to be a better organized database. So we do this and we exit this. So we're going to go ahead and save this. And for this one, I don't need it anymore. So here is my order. So I'm going to come back and do the switch here. So I'm going to switch this up for this connection. And I'm going to come back and find my own database here, which is going to be comment in this case. And my page, our sheet name rather, is WhatsApp orders. So I'm going to do what is in my own orders. I'm going to do the status here as order delivered. So I'm going to filter status. I'm going to come here. I need to copy this exactly the way it is and do order delivered. I would like to do the text contents because sometimes I don't think I'm spelling this the way it is. I don't know, my eyes be failing me some days. Okay, I am already saying that, I'm using capital D instead of small d. So let me switch that out. So that's why I personally just like to use content so that if it fits, it runs with it. I'll run with one here and then I'll save this. Then I save this. And this was, so let me run this. No, so let me switch this out for fees. So I'm going to switch this out for, what is this called? I'm going to switch it out for purchase details. Then I'll save this and then I'll save this. So let me run it one time and see what I'm going to get. So this is the minute it has been. So I want to add and then I'll save this and then I'll save this. For yes, so in other words, it's telling me that it's been what? 73 what? Oh, I totally forgot that it's actually 24 hours. So that means I had to do it by the number of hours and then by the number of days. So if I wanted to, so because 24 hours make one day, so I had to do that by days, by 24, which is in amounts of hours, and then I had to do it by days, which is 7 days. So that's how I'm going to be able to get, you know, the answer that I'm looking for. Yeah, so you can see now it's better because this is was this 5th of 12, 4th, 5th, 4, right? Let me see how many days there's been. Mm. So it was counting by weeks, so I don't want that 7 to count it by weeks, so because 7 makes it count it by week, so I wanted to count it by days, where I will stop at 24 here. So if I run this again, so how many days? So we do 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I'm looking at roughly 20, 21. Yeah, so you can see here, so this is correct. So it now gives me 21 days. So it tells me that it's 21 days between when that order was delivered and today, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is add another module, which is going to be the AI module that sends them the offer, drafts the offer and sends them to them, telling them, oh, hey, I know you ordered this that 3 days ago. I would want you, I wouldn't mind if you would go ahead to do a video in return for a partnership gift or something that we are going to give out to them. So I think I already had this a prompt for that somewhere. So let me just copy the prompt to save me time. Yes, I'm going to add my OpenAI module here, and I'm going to go ahead and generate a completion here. And I'm going to add a module like for something. Yeah, that works for me. I'm going to add my message here, and in this case, it's going to be a developer. And I'm going to go ahead and put, the data here, and I will tell it to return output as a JSON email. I want you to return it so I can send it to them as an email. But if in your case you're doing WhatsApp, you can also switch this out to say return this message as an ideal WhatsApp message. So that way it will draft the message for you to send it and send it to them on WhatsApp. But in this case, I'm using email. But you can, like I said, switch it for WhatsApp, Telegram, or any medium of communication that you use with your customers, depending on what you sell, of course. And my message here, or my user details here, is going to be this. So I'm going to add it here. I'm going to set the product name is this, and then the customer name. In this case, I haven't provided in here, but I have the customer phone number. But of course, you would have to have a field that has customer name. So in this case, I'm just going to type it in. So I'll save this, and then I'll save this. Right? So I'll just go ahead and generate this so that it can give me the result that I'm going to use and create my JSON. I'm going to go in here, and this is what it has given to me. So I'm just going to copy this. And I'm going to add my module that will pass this into its individual, branches, which is the subject and the body. So in this case, I'm going to do parser here. You can just do JSON to still pull up the same thing for you. Oh, it's not giving me the pass. Yeah, it's going to give me this, so I'll just pass JSON here. And then I'm going to add my structure, which is the email structure. And in this case, you can call it referral. So I'm going to generate my specification here, and I'll add the email that I copied, and then I generate this. And then I save this. And then my string here is going to come from here, and of course I go ahead and save this. And the last module is going to be the module that actually emails this to the customer. So I'm going to do add a module. I'm going to add email. So I want to send an email. So of course my connection already exists. If you don't know how to establish your Gmail connection, I have a video of that, and I think I will link it in the comment or the description, and you can go and check it out so that you can create your own. But in this case, my email address is going to come from here, and the subject is going to come from here, and the body is going to come from here. And then I go ahead and save this, and I save this. So one thing that I did forget to do here was come here and set your condition. So in this case, like we did say, we are only sending it 3 days after the purchase. So what we are doing here, just want to call this 3 days again. So the condition here is going to be if what you get here is equal to 3 days. So in this case, we're going to do numeric. In this case, we do numeric operators, and then we save this. So if I run this once, You can see the email that I received here in my email box. Look how beautiful it is. But of course, you can structure this better depending on the kind of business that you do. This one particularly would be perfect for an e-com business. But if you do say a coaching business or a service business, you might want to tweak the AI module prompt a little bit so that it will cater to what you're doing. So this system will only run through when the customer purchase timeline is just within 3 days. Anything aside that, it's not going to run. So of course you find out what works for you, what from you are the one running the business, so you know what time is ideal to ask for referrals or feedback or something from your client. Do you do 7 days? Do you do 3 days? Do you do 14 days? Whatever works for you, right? So I really hope you found this useful. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to this channel, share this with another business owner that may find this system useful, and I will see you in my next one. But if you want a custom setup for your business, you might want to reach out to me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn will be linked in the comment, and I will see you in my next one.